Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Bithoulkas, and it's time for an episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Captain America Brave New World, which is in theaters. I know it just opened up today. I got to see it last night. It usually opens a day early, kind of thing. Also, there's a contest involved too. So, um, I do have as a giveaway, and you'll see the details down in the description of this video. I've got this little guy right here, which is a keychain, Captain America keychain. It's pretty freaking heavy, actually. So this was given away during the fan night, opening night, fan night thing. So one lucky winner will be getting one of those. And again, like I said, I'll go into details later on as we go through this. So let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it here. Hey, Cheryl, how's it going? Um, if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. You'll see the stuff down there. Also, if you're on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the very end of the videos. There's videos that pop up here and over here, and they usually try and match things, up with the algorithms of the stuff that you're going to be watching anyway, and they'll try and match it up with the video. My vast video library, I have over 1,000 videos there. So take a look what you got there. Yes, I'm a little bit rusty. I'm getting back into the swing of things. And also, I'm on social media, so I'm on, all over the place. But go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there, so you can find out where I'm at on Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, you name it. I'm out there. So just go take a look at that. Uh, oh yes, that's right. It is VD Day as well. So, and to you, hey Derpy, how's it going? I didn't, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so that's the other thing that really kind of sucks about this is trying to see you guys in the chat there. So yeah, I got to pop that out a little bit so I can actually read that a bit. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do a spoiler-free review first, and then I'm going to do a spoiler review after that. So let's jump into the spoiler-free review first here. The movie clocks in about 2 hours, roughly, if I remember correctly. I'm actually looking at IMDb right now, and yes, it clocks in an hour and 58 minutes. So it clocks in at 2 hours. I mean, not bad. And how can I say this? It feels like the second season of Captain America and Winter Soldier, except without Winter Soldier. And that is kind of where they go with this, is they treat it more like a TV series than they are a movie. And I'm just going to cut down to the nitty gritty of this. There are three separate storylines that are going on here. None of them feel like they are integrated. They seem to be wrapping up a lot of MCU threads that have just been kind of dangling out there, and some of them for 16 years. And that is where this movie kind of falls into all of this. Is it a bad movie? No, it's not horrible, but it's not one of those, you know, I went and saw it in the IMAX theater, like a true IMAX theater. I paid extra money for that. It didn't feel like it was worth it, quite honestly, to see it in that. Um, and like I said, it has three distinct storylines that seem like they're kind of shoehorned together and not really working together, I guess you could say, but they're moving the MCU along, is really what this is. That's what this is, the functional movie moving plot lines along. Um, Again, I've said this before, I don't think Anthony Mackie can carry a film by himself. I don't feel he's leading man material. And it's not because he's black or anything like that. I mean, I just think he does better in an ensemble group, quite honestly. He just doesn't have that gravitas, I think, to carry a movie on his own. And Harrison Ford, while he's in this movie, he's not in it enough to he's not the main character of the movie. And so that's the other thing that kind of derails this as well. So is it not memorable? Morks asks here. Uh, Not really. I mean, my friend who I went and saw this who saw this movie with said that, at one point he fell asleep during it, and again, remember, it's an under 2-hour long movie, so, we saw the 5 o'clock showing, so it wasn't like it was a late night showing or anything like that. Um, granted, I kind of my eyes got a little heavy at one point too. There's a lot of over explanation that's done in this as well. That was one of the things. The writing is didn't need to be as complicated as it was. There was this really long roundabout circuitous route of getting to what they thought was a plot there, and didn't need to be that complicated, quite honestly. Less is more, as I've always said. And if you need to explain everything, like literally Captain America does at one point, he sits there and explains it out to the audience, then yeah, your plot is too fucking complicated at that point, especially for the average dumb motherfucker who has, obviously done as much damage as they've done, what they voted into office. So, yeah, they're not going to understand fucking diddly squat of this, quite honestly. So, yeah. CBM says, did you enjoy more than the Marvels? The Marvels, I've never gone back to rewatch the Marvels, quite honestly. Um, it was a movie that I kind of almost feel it's on the same par as the Marvels, but um yeah, I honestly don't have any desire to watch the Marvels. I don't have any desire to watch this movie again either. It moved things along. The Marvels did not move anything along, quite honestly. Um, there is a stinger at the end of the credits, just so you know. So at the very, very end of the credits, there is a stinger. Uh, that happens, and it's a very cryptic stinger at that. That's what I'll leave it at that. So, is it worth your time to see it in the theater? No. When it comes out on Disney Plus in a couple of months, yeah, go ahead and watch it. It actually ties together, like I said, quite a few dangling storylines that are there. It ties them off nicely, and then also introduces some other stuff as well that is going to be coming up. Um, with that said, I'm gonna get into the spoiler version of this. So you notice I actually moved that a little bit closer now so I can actually do this. So, spoiler alert, I am gonna be spoiling the movie. If you have not seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, look away. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section later when you've seen this. Otherwise, yes, I am gonna be spoiling the shit out of this. So um so the main bad guy, of course, is the leader. And it's actually Tim Blake Nelson, who was the leader in the Edward Norton version of Incredible Hulk, I think is what it was. Um, yeah, so he's the bad guy, and basically Ross has been keeping him in a black site to use him as his own personal think tank. And he had irradiated the leader even further to make him a bigger brain. It was really kind of stupid, quite honestly. And all for the whole thing that if once Ross became president, he was going to cure the leader and let him go. And of course, that didn't happen. So, of course, the leader put his own plans into action. In the meantime, you have the elementals or the Eternals, excuse me, where they had the celestial who came up out of the Indian Ocean, and all the countries are actually fighting over this. This is what the central plot of the movie is, I guess you could say, where they figured out that the celestial is made of adamantium. So everyone wants the adamantium. They want to mine it because, of course, Wakanda is an isolationist country. They're not going to share the vibranium. So everyone wants to get the adamantium, which is similar to vibranium, but stronger. So that's where this all comes in. Um, so what do they tie up? So they tie up the Eternal storyline a bit more. That yes, everyone knows that a celestial came up out of the Indian Ocean, so they know what happened there. They tie up the leaders thing. They tie up what happened to General Thunderbolt Ross, who this is our third incarnation of General Thunderbolt Ross, by the way. So remember, we had Sam Elliott in the Ang Lee version, and that is actually canon. Then we had William Hurt, the late William Hurt, who of course passed away, and then we have now Harrison Ford. Um, and Harrison Ford's Ross has a heart condition. He went to the leader in order to help him, and of course the leader did. He gave him these pills, which of course have gamma radiation in them, which turns him into the Red Hulk. Which again, you don't see the Red Hulk. The Red Hulk storyline comes about in the last, yeah, I would say 20 minutes of the movie, maybe somewhere around there. They kind of toy with it a little bit. They toy with it a little bit, and all of that. And yeah, that's kind of thrown out there as well. And while it's fun, it's not anything that's really memorable. It's not really great. Um, I wanted more of Isaiah Bradley, so we brought in Isaiah Bradley, of course, from Captain America: Winter Soldier, who, if those of you who out there who read comics, Red, White, and Black, which is an awesome fucking comic about them being the American government using the super soldier serum on testing it on black servicemen in the World War II, before, of course, they tested on white servicemen, and Isaiah Bradley being the only one that actually survives any of this. Uh, so yeah, they brought Carl Lumley back for that. Having the leader doing mind control from the prison was just overly complicated. It was kind of a stupid thing. And then also the new Falcon. We also introduced, well, not introduced, but he's already been introduced before. But we have the new Falcon, of course, who is Danny Ramirez plays Joaquin Torres, who is the new Falcon, and he's just a little too eager on things, and I found him annoying, quite honestly. I wanted him to die, and when he does crash and burn, I was like, yes, hopefully he's going to die, and he doesn't. He survives, unfortunately. So yeah, that's where we're at there. So like I said, and then also they introduced the Serpent Society into this. So that's where we have Esposito. Giancarlo Esposito. There we go. Thank you. Who plays Sidewinder, who's one of the members of the Serpent Society. Don't try and say that 5 times fast or 10 times fast, because it's just really hard. Yeah. And then, of course, they also brought in Johannes Hocker Johansson as Copperhead, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's a blink and you miss it kind of cameo. They have him in there. And yes, Bucky does show up for a little cameo as well. So we find out what Bucky's been up to as well. And Bucky is he's running for Congress, is what he's doing. They also introduce a new character into all of this as well, who is Ruth Bat Seraph is her name. She is Israeli who had gone through the Red Room, is what they were saying. So she's essentially a Black Widow, and that's what she's filling. And me and my friend were both saying, you know what? If you wanted a Black Widow character, just fucking resurrect Black Widow. Give Scarlett Johansson the fucking money. Bring her back. You have alternate universes and stuff like that. You could easily bring her back somehow. But yeah. Anyway, did this movie need to be made into a movie? No. Did it need to be made into a TV series, a second season of a TV series? Probably not. They could have really done this as a one shot, Marvel one shot, kind of like Werewolf by Night, where you just do a do a TV budget, but you do it for like an hour and a half, and you could have easily gotten away with it and done the same thing. You could have trimmed out some of the fat for this and really gotten away with it as a Marvel one shot, and moved plot lines along in the MCU. The adamantium, bringing that about is supposed to bring about the X-Men, of course, and Wolverine. At one point, they actually, when President Ross is talking about adamantium uses, and they have a skeleton up there that you can see that someone's getting their skeleton infused with adamantium to the spine, and I'm like, oh, way to be heavy-handed there. The writers just aren't good, quite honestly, which is So the reason why the writers aren't good, they use a couple of the writers from the Captain America and Winter Soldier TV series. So again, like I said, the reason why it felt like a TV series is because it was written for TV. And then they also used an animation writer, which normally, I mean, I'm all for that, but this guy wrote The Princess, and he was one of the writers for The Princess and the Frog, which is a great movie. Um, and so I think he was actually doing cleanup on a lot of stuff, and he probably had a lot of heavy work on him about trying to clean that up. I heard there was a lot of behind the scenes production problems with this. I know Giancarlo Esposito was brought in last minute for the Sidewinder role, which makes sense of really why Copperhead only pops up for a little bit. Um, that whole storyline was kind of probably brought in to explain why the leader is doing it. Just was really stupid, quite honestly. Um, yeah, it didn't need to be as convoluted as it was, and unfortunately, it was convoluted. Um, So yeah, I'm gonna say you can skip this one until it comes out on Disney Plus. You really don't need to. It has nothing to do with Thunderbolts, so it doesn't touch Thunderbolts at all here. It doesn't touch anything else in the MCU really that's coming up, like Fantastic Four or anything like that. Um, so yeah, it just basically ties up stuff that has been in the past, and like I said, brings maybe the X-Men into this as well, or at least bringing some elements in for the X-Men, like Wolverine, I could say there. Um, Other than that, yeah, we really don't at the end of all of this, um, President Ross is in the raft because he actually puts himself there in the raft because he doesn't trust himself. Because when he turns into the Hulk, he gets angry, of course, turns into the Red Hulk and destroys a good portion of the White House and almost kills a couple people as well. um, so that's the reason why he steps down and goes into the raft. The leader is also in the raft as well. And at the very end, the stinger, like I was saying, is the leader meeting up with Sam Wilson, leader being in the raft there and talking about, and this is the other thing too. General Ross or President Ross had tasked Sam with bringing the Avengers back. So the Avengers are gone at this point. We know that's the only other thing that this movie kind of tells you is that the Avengers have disbanded. We know this already pretty much from the end, from Endgame 2, I guess is what it is, or whatever it is that they've disbanded. I mean, there's no Cap, there's no Iron Man. Hawkeye is pretty much retired. He's given that over to Kate Bishop. Black Widow's dead. Hulk has gone off to do his own thing. He was healing, of course, at this point. Um, yeah, so I mean, everyone and Thor is out saving the universe or something like that. He was traveling with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and now he's got that kid in tow, so that he's doing that out in the universe as well. So he's not on Earth or anywhere near Midgard, which he was tasked with protecting, and then also, yeah. Anyway, he's not anywhere around as well. So of course, the Avengers have disbanded at this point as well. Um, and yeah, so who is Captain America going to be bringing together to form this new Avengers team, and it's mostly going to be kids is where we're at there. So that is in the cards as well. But the leader basically tells him that the others are coming, and the others are going to take them apart. He's not ready for the others. And yeah, Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel's on a different planet. Morix, remember, she's out there trying to take care of what the Kree have destroyed. So she really is not paying attention to Earth at all at this point. Um, there's Miss Marvel. I mean, so Miss Marvel is pretty much the one that's taking care of Earth here, and then we don't even have Spectrum or uh, basically Monica Rambeau's character is in a different universe now at this point as well. So we don't have her either. So all our heavy hitters are pretty much in space. And they're someplace else. They're not paying attention to Earth. Their attention is elsewhere. Yeah. So yeah, the heavy hitters are gone. But yeah, the leader is basically telling him that that he's not going to be ready for the others that are coming, and that they need to make some decisions. So this is all leading up to Secret War, of course, at this point. Um, and I could tell you about Secret War, but I don't want to spoil things for you. I'll leave it alone. I honestly don't know what they're going to be doing, what parts of Secret War they're going to take, and where they're going to go. It's not the 80s Secret War. It's not the 90s Secret War. It's the most recent Secret War from Jonathan Hickman. So if you're looking to read some comics, read that. CBM says it really is just Young Avengers, champions, and some random lawyers and Egyptologists. Exactly. It's really street level heroes that are left over. Exactly, CBM. There are really no heavy hitters left. Everyone else is in space. And again, you only have your two heavy hitters are Thor and Captain Marvel. That's it. The rest, yeah, we really don't. I mean, we have Spider-Man who doesn't have, you know, those kind of level of powers. Um, Moon Knight, Daredevil, She-Hulk, Hulk. Um, yeah, I mean, of what they've put into the MCU now at this point, we really don't have a lot left for the Avengers. And it's gonna be problematic. And that's what Thunderbolts is going to be showing us here is that what is Earth going to be doing now that there's no real big heavy hitters left on the planet, and you have a big threat that happens. I know what the big threat is. If you watch the last trailer, they show the big threat as well. Even though I know what the name is of the big threat, I'm not going to say what it is because I'm not an asshole about that. So yeah. Um, but like I said, this is not worth your time in the theaters. Wait till it comes out on Disney Plus. It's a TV series at best. It's a second season of a TV series. It would have done better as a Marvel one shot. They didn't need to pump as much money into it as they did. Um, they really could have gotten away with it as a, like I said, a 90-minute movie on Disney Plus and gotten away with it that way. And it would have taken care of a lot of things, quite honestly. And they didn't need to do the Red Hulk in all of this. The Red Hulk is going to be more problematic than it's not, quite honestly. The Big Threat is another movie that sucks. No, I think Thunderbolts is actually going to be a lot of fun, Morks. I think Thunderbolts looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's been well thought out, and there's not a lot of leakage from Thunderbolts. This movie had a lot of leakage to it because there was just a lot of problems that were going on with it. Too many people, too many rewrites, too many storylines shoehorned in, and of course they're going to leak out because people don't know what the fuck's going to happen with their jobs if this movie's going to come out in an age where you have movies being shelved because for tax breaks, like Warner Brothers has been doing and others had followed suit. Um, that could have very well happened to this movie as well. This movie was probably close to being shelved for a tax break. Um, but I think Disney was needed to release it in order to have a Marvel movie come out sooner rather than later. They couldn't wait until May for Thunderbolts. Is this going to hurt them? Now I'm looking at it on the business side of things. Probably not, quite honestly. This will be a blip, like everything else. Fantastic Four needs to knock this shit out of the park, quite honestly. If you don't get Fantastic Four right, what is this now, the fourth time around? Then you're never going to get it right. And you might as well just fold up shop at that point and just do TV and animation at that point, because that's the only thing that's working right now is your Disney Plus animation and your Disney Plus TV. That's really it. The movies have been, yeah, problematic at best. So, um, and we have DC now under James Gunn and Peter Seraphine, uh, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, right now the first thing that is actually in the DCU that is can I take that back. The second thing that's DCU canon, Blue Beetle is supposedly the first DCU canon thing. Um, this new DCU, but Creature Commandos was the other one. Also, well, I take that back. That's the third one. Suicide Squad, the remake that James Gunn did, is technically canon as well. So yeah, yeah, and Peacemaker. So yeah, fourth one. They keep moving things around a little bit on that, but yeah. And not that this is a competition between Marvel and DC and whatnot. I'm just looking at superhero movies in general as good, not good. And again, as I've said before, stick with the fucking source material. There's a reason why the source material was popular, is because it was well written. If it's well written, bring in those writers if they're still alive, especially if you're mining stuff from 20, 30, 40 years ago. Bring in those writers as consultants. That way you can pay them. Also, the artists that were actually working on those comics, bring them in as consultants for storyboarding. For because I mean, if you storyboard out some of those iconic scenes from the comics, that's what makes people watch this stuff. Why people, is a thumbnail. What is YouTube famous for? For thumbnails. I mean, that's what gets you to watch a video. Um, Granted, sometimes I pick a good thumbnail, sometimes I don't, but that's what comic books are about as well, is the imagery and the writing. If both don't fire, if one is better than the other, I mean, there's books out there that I've read that were fantastically written, but the art was fucking crap, and it made me drop the book. Alternatively, there's books that were beautifully drawn but were just a shitty storyline, and again, I dropped the book. But if you have both that work together, that's what makes a good storyline. It's the same thing with movies. If you have actors that actually know how to carry a scene or how to carry a movie, I'm sorry, Anthony Mackie, but you don't, that actually helps. If you have writers that are really good and don't beat around the fucking bush and make this long, circuitous route for this plot line that you have to have your main character, you literally have to write your main character saying what the plot line was within the movie. It doesn't work. So again, bring in the people that actually did this in the first place and pay them some fucking money. That's all you need to do, and they will deliver. That's all you need to do. Medium, medium, you can transverse medium, quite honestly. Animators can go into live action. Live actions can go into animation. Yes, it is possible. Just it's a people just need to get their mindset a little bit different when they're switching those mediums. That's it. It doesn't take a lot, quite honestly, if you're a good storyteller. Mark says that's why I don't check the schedule. I look for a thumbnail. Thanks. Yeah, that's why I don't put my face in it anymore, quite honestly, because it scares people away. So I've rambled on enough here. I'm fairly sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost a half an hour now here. So what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, given the time here, where are we at? We're at 5:30 ish. Is that right? 5:15. Okay. So I think I can do this at 6 o'clock. I'm going to do Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the latest episodes that dropped. I can't remember offhand. I think that was 6, 7, and 8, or 4, 5, and 6. I can't remember offhand. So I'm going to be covering that at 6 o'clock. So in a couple of, about 45 minutes or so here. And then tomorrow I'm going to cover Invincible season 3, episodes 1 through 4, since I didn't do 1 through 3 last week. Just, shit happened. And I think that's what I've got going on for the rest of this week. Actually, I think there is one other thing. I'm going to go take a look over at suspendedfanimation.com, because if you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Oh, yes, I'm also going to be covering on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Another Is It Worth My Time? The Witcher: Sirens of the Deep, which is a animated series, animated movie on Netflix. I'll be covering that as well, because why not? It came out, I watched it, so we'll do that. So, With that said, the contest. That's right. So the contest for this little guy here. All you need to do in this video is make a comment down below. Uh, you can make as many comments as you want on this video. I'm only going to count it as one entry, so your name's only going to go into the pot once. Uh, and then on the 22nd, you have until 5 p.m. on the 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 22nd to make it, put in your comment there. And then at probably around 6 p.m. on the 22nd, I'm going to pick a name or pick two names. And then if someone does not respond back within 48 hours of me picking their name, then it goes to the runner up. And that's when this goes out there. So, all right. Hello counts as a comment. No, you got to comment down below in the video of this, Cheryl. So remember, just in the comment section of this video, once this goes into video mode. So, yeah, there you go. And so I've told you what's going on next week as well, or coming up here. Yeah, related to the video, somewhat. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. You know who you are out there. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video. It pops up here and over here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you to watch. And if you like what you see there, subscribe. There's a subscription down below. Like, share, and subscribe. So thank you, everyone. I will see you again at 6 p.m. for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the animated series, which is really good. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's actually well worth your time on that. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again in about 45 minutes. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to knock the rust off of all the shit you've been doing because, hey, it happens. I haven't been doing this for a while, 7 months or so, and I kind of getting back into the swing of things. And yeah, it's a little bit of a learning curve there again. But you can see I do have the background up, and yes, those are lightsabers behind me, by the way, too. There's a dark saber there, and that is a lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge Disneyland. So yeah, I'm debating whether or not to get another one, but that's another story. Anyway, thanks everyone. I will see you again in about 45 minutes. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you then. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.